Let me start with something uncomfortable. You are not lazy. And if you've been calling yourself lazy for years, there's a high chance you've been blaming the wrong thing. Before we go any further, let me ask you something. When was the last time you sat down to do something important and suddenly felt tired, distracted, or unmotivated for no clear reason? Be honest with yourself. Was it today? Yesterday? Every day? If that sounds familiar, stay with me, because what you're experiencing is not laziness. It's overstimulation. Let me say this clearly. Laziness is when you don't want to do anything and you're perfectly fine with that. But most of you watching this are not fine at all. You feel frustrated. You feel guilty. You feel like you're wasting your potential. Lazy people don't feel that way. So here's my first question to you, and I want you to answer honestly in the comments. Do you actually feel lazy, or do you feel overwhelmed, scattered, and mentally exhausted? Write it down. Just one word if you want. Now, before we continue, if this topic hits close to home, do me a small favor. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel. Not because of the algorithm, but because this channel is about conversations like this. Real ones. And while you're here, leave a comment later with your thoughts. I actually read them. Now let's talk. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Your brain is not broken. It's overloaded. We live in a world where your brain is constantly attacked by stimulation. Notifications. Short videos. Music. News. Messages. Endless scrolling. Your brain never gets silence anymore. And when the brain is overstimulated, it does something very logical. It shuts down. Not because it's lazy, but because it's trying to protect itself. Think about this for a second. Imagine a 5-year-old kid doing math homework. Simple math. 2 plus 2. Easy, right? Now imagine that kid trying to solve it while 5 people are talking to him. A TV is playing loudly, his phone is buzzing, and someone is shaking his shoulder every 10 seconds. Is the kid lazy because he can't focus? Or is the environment the problem? That's your brain. Every day. Let me ask you something else. When you finally sit down to rest, do you actually feel rested? Or do you just switch from one screen to another? Phone to TV. TV to laptop. Laptop back to phone. If that's you, type yes in the comments. I want to see how many of you recognize this. Here's where most people get it wrong. They think motivation is the problem. I just need more discipline. I need to push myself harder. I need to stop being lazy. But pushing an overstimulated brain is like pressing the gas pedal while the engine is overheating. You don't move faster. You break down. Let's talk about attention for a moment. Your attention is not unlimited. Think of it like money. If you have $100 of attention per day, and you spend 70 of it on social media, 20 on random notifications, and 10 on stress, how much is left for deep work, focus, or creativity? 0. That's not laziness. That's bad math. Simple math. And here's another question for you. Do you feel most lazy when you're trying to do something important? Work. Studying. Training. Building something meaningful. Notice how you're never too lazy to scroll. Never too lazy to watch videos. Never too lazy to check your phone. Because those things don't require focus. They feed overstimulation. Let me give you a real-life example. You sit down to work. You open your laptop. Before you even start, you check one notification. Then another. Then a quick video. 10 minutes pass. Then 20. Suddenly you feel tired. So you tell yourself, I'm lazy today, but you didn't even give your brain a chance to focus. You flooded it first. Let's pause here for a moment. I want you to think about this. What do you usually do right before you feel lazy? Scrolling? Multitasking? Jumping between apps? Write it in the comments. Not for me, for yourself. Here's something schools never taught us. Focus is a skill. And like any skill, it gets weaker if you never use it properly. If you constantly interrupt yourself, your brain learns one thing. Deep focus is unsafe. So the moment you try to concentrate, your brain resists. Not because it hates you, but because it's been trained that way. Let me use another simple example. Imagine teaching a child math again. But every time he starts solving a problem, you take the paper away. Then give it back. Then take it away again. Eventually, the child stops trying. Is he lazy? Or did you train him to fail? That's what overstimulation does. Now here's where it gets really interesting. Most people confuse overstimulation with lack of ambition. They say, I used to be so driven. I don't know what happened to me. What happened is that your environment changed faster than your brain could adapt. More noise. More content. Less silence. Let me talk directly to you for a second. If you feel like you're falling behind in life, but at the same time feel mentally exhausted all the time, that's not laziness. That's burnout in disguise. And no amount of motivation quotes will fix that. Let me ask you another question. When was the last time you were bored? Truly bored. No phone. No music. No stimulation. Just you and your thoughts. If you can't remember, that's a problem. And yes, I want you to comment that too. Here's the paradox. Boredom is where clarity starts. But overstimulation kills boredom instantly. So your brain never gets the chance to reset. It stays noisy. And a noisy brain cannot focus. Let's talk about productivity myths. People love to say, just work harder. But working harder with an overstimulated brain is like trying to read a book in a nightclub. The problem isn't the book. It's the noise. Here's another small math example. If a child needs 30 minutes to solve 10 math problems in silence, how long do you think it takes with constant interruptions? An hour? 2? Or maybe he gives up entirely. Again, not laziness. Environment. Now I want to challenge you. And this is important. If you've been calling yourself lazy, ask yourself this instead. When was the last time I gave my brain real rest? Not entertainment. Not distraction. Rest. And before you answer that, let me say something clearly. Watching videos is not rest. Scrolling is not rest. Switching apps is not rest. That's stimulation. Low-effort stimulation, but stimulation. Let me ask you directly. Would you be willing to reduce stimulation for just one day? One day. No endless scrolling. No multitasking. Just focus on one thing at a time. Comment, one day, if you're willing to try. I'm curious how many of you are. Here's where things start to change. When you reduce stimulation, Your brain fights back at first. You feel restless, bored, uncomfortable. That's normal. That's withdrawal. Yes, withdrawal. Because overstimulation works like an addiction. This is why discipline feels hard. Not because you're weak, but because you're constantly fighting your own environment. And most people never realize that. They fight themselves instead. Let me bring this back to you. If you remove the noise, clarity returns. Slowly. If you protect your attention, focus comes back. Not instantly, but naturally. Here's another question for you. What is the biggest source of distraction in your life right now? Phone? Social media? Notifications? People? Write it down. Awareness is the first step. Now, before we wrap this up, I want to be very clear. This video is not an excuse to do nothing. It's not permission to avoid responsibility. It's an explanation. And explanations give you power. Here's the main takeaway. You are not lazy. You are overstimulated. And overstimulation is a solvable problem. Not with more motivation, but with better boundaries. If this video made you rethink how you see yourself, hit the like button. It helps more than you think. And if you want more conversations like this, subscribe to the channel. There's another video here on the screen that connects perfectly with this one. Go watch it. And before you go, leave a comment. Tell me honestly, do you think you're lazy or overstimulated? Thanks for watching. I appreciate you. I'll see you in the next video.